And there it goes. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is the Sunday Comic Book Hangover Show, and it was an impromptu wear your wife's robe to the stream event kind of day.
This isn't my wife's. What are you talking about? This is mine.
Okay, well, it was inspired by you. Our guest, Johnny, one-time CBCA finalist, Johnny's Comic Stuff. I am Nate, and I am joined by my co-host this week, Eric from SideQuest Comics. Thanks for being here, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Johnny, what time is it for you?
Same as Eric. It's 8:30.
Okay, so I thought so. I thought you guys were like an hour ahead. So I do appreciate you guys getting up extra early, because my alarm went off at 8 a.m. and I just thought, oh no, I don't like that.
I've been up since about 5:30, 5:45.
Ooh, yeah, I have two fuzzy alarm clocks that wake me up as soon as the sun comes up. So,
oh yes, that is true.
Time for breakfast and potties. So.
Well, before we get into things, there's a lot of people here, so let's say good morning. There's Matt from Impressed, another cleaner presser, someone I've seen stream with you before, Johnny.
Yeah.
There's Eric sneaking in, number two.
That guy.
Close.
Phil's Treehouse. Love you too, Phil. Love that Costco. My other friend Eric, good morning, Himbo, and my friend Chris. Condition not considered. Good morning. There's K Munin. You really got beat today, buddy. Usually, he's first. He's like fifth down the line today. There is Matt, Mr. Comic Book YouTube. And the coach, Doug. Hey, man. Thanks for being here. Brian, local comic stud, has a Kickstarter going right now with art by Eric, Dames and Damsels, something. I've got it bookmarked. I do. Everybody should go and back it. There's Rich. You guys had a stream last night. I didn't catch anything last night. Very busy weekend. There's Louis from Second Floor. Hey, man. Siri, why are you awake at this hour? Got to do something, man. It's a good way to start your weekend, or end your weekend, start your day. Michael, just Michael. Lots of folks saying good morning to each other. And if I miss you, please say, hey, you miss me. There's Derek Hammondtree. Hey, man. Saw you down at Heroes. Chris Parker, if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey. All the way from England, there's Terry. Hey, man. Dead Man Comic Cover Show. Go check his channel out if you don't. No, Jason, this is pre-recorded as always. And there's a guy that everyone's talking about. Hey, Brandon, good morning. If you have not donated to his Kickstarter, you certainly should, because he's a really nice guy who lost his house. Did you see that I did see a post where he still has his signed Keanu Reeves picture.
Yes.
Like that survived.
Yes, it's amazing some of the stuff that he found, treasures that survived. I was just like, how? Wow.
How? I mean, not just the fire, but then all the water, right? Like,
yeah.
Some cool stuff. Some bright spots in the tragedy for sure.
Yeah.
Dante's Game Room. Hey, good morning. Welcome back. Big Lyle, all the way from
it's early for him.
And look at that guy. He's been on a little bit of a sabbatical, but Hagen will be back on Tuesday for the FOMO Squad Hangout. We've missed you for sure, buddy.
Up on.
Yeah, I may have to get a surge in his honor. There's Carrie from Denmark. Good morning. Good morning, KBDM. It's like call letters from a Western radio station. I like that. Hey, John, JSS. Thanks for being here this morning, buddy.
I wonder if they have the morning shock jock voice.
And there's Christina Payne, another wonderful blue wrench in our community. Good morning, Christina. And did I get everybody?
Okay.
It's still going. It's still going. Okay. I reached the bottom. If I missed you, please let me know that I missed you. I'm sorry. I really do appreciate everybody being here. I can't believe 24 people are here on a Sunday morning. So Johnny, welcome back to, this is your first Sunday morning show. You came on the FOMO Squad with us. Yeah, this is a little slower. So, we just woke up. It's, we're getting over a week, and now we're getting ready for another week. But what's happening with you? And I know you just made a post about how you haven't been putting videos out recently, but what's been going on with you, like comic book wise, in the last couple of weeks? Have you picked up anything cool?
I'm still pressing and cleaning constantly.
Cool.
It's just having time to record. Like I mentioned to you guys before the show, just work's been crazy. It's always a little interesting this time of year with school starting back up. My wife's a teacher, so that's a little crazy. And just got behind on the normal stuff I'm supposed to do, but I still been buying comic books, still been watching the heritage auctions. I got about 40 pre-bids for this week's auction that we talked about a little bit. I hope I don't win them all, because if I do, I'm gonna have to sell something to pay for them.
That's what I was gonna ask, because when you said that, so you know what? Let's just start there, okay? You introduced me and Eric, which is so dangerous.
Well, I knew what was going to happen. I was like, nope.
So you backed out. Okay,
Yeah.
I am still stalking them. So Heritage Auctions online on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays do these there's a Golden Age, Silver Age, Modern Age kind of auction thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pre-bid on them. And some of these lots, there'll be 23 books. They don't even show you a picture of all 23. They just tell you what they are and what the grades are. And people bid on them. And sometimes, things go for more than they should. And sometimes they go for a lot less. And so what have you been doing with these? Are you using that as a means to get stuff to sell, to then buy other books that you're looking for?
Yeah, for the most part. There's occasionally I'll buy stuff because I want, the last big lot I got was all adventure comics, and it was all 12-cent adventure comics. I got, I don't know, 130 books for $200. They're all 6.0 range. I'm not going to go through and press and clean all those, and those aren't books that I would, I'd flip. But if you saw any of my videos, I got a stack of books right here that are all signed, that are cleaned and pressed, and they're signed by Jim Lee and Will Portacio. And a lot of them are X-Men books that are for me, but a lot of them are this one here was a great one. I got 4, and I just showed this before. So I got 4 of these Gru the Wanderers. They're all the different issue ones. So I think this is the second one. Yeah, because 82 was the first one. And they were all signed, but they're also actually remarked too. So it said they were signed, but it didn't say they had a remark. So every one of them's got the little, his little groove, which is cool. The thing with a book like this is CGC will, or CBCS, they'll verify the signature, but they won't say anything that it's remarked. So I may not have that slab just because the remark will be hidden forever. No one will ever see it, and that kind of takes away the joy of that book. But yeah, a lot of them I just buy to flip. The one key I would tell you that I have learned I have to do is when you're going through and doing proxy bids, you can actually tell it, I don't want you to go above this amount. And then if you have 100 bids and by the third bid you've hit that number, it won't execute any of your future bids because you've hit your budget for that auction. So I have 40 pre-bids, but I also have if we get to this number, stop doing my proxies because I don't want to.
Well, that was
but a lot
that
of
was
it's
my
been run
question.
fillers.
Yeah, I was going to say this week's had a ton of big sets of Silver Age DC, like you were talking about that adventure lot, just a lot of lots like that. And I was just thinking, man, if I said, $100 on this one, $100 on that one, 100, whatever the top was, it would add up real quick. And then Jason here as well, the fee, they have their fees on top of it, the buyer's premium, and then the tax and all that. So you got to keep that in mind on the back end, that what you're bidding, there's more underneath. And the more the higher level, which I'm not going to get into that level anyway, but where it really starts getting in is that 29 or that, is it 29% or something like that is what a lot of them will put on there.
It's 20%. It's $29 until you get to that 20%. So if you buy a book for $1, it costs you $30 because they're going to tack 29. And I think the thing is, yes, there are fees. As long as you understand those fees, you just have to use those when you're. I don't want to spend more than $100 on this book. Well, then don't bid more than 70, and then you won't spend more than 100. You know, you have to keep that in the back of your mind. The other thing, and I did a video on it. Like if you look at GPA or any of the recent sale websites that show like comps and fair market values, they include that premium. So they're actually, when they say this book's going for $1,000, it's actually with the premium. So it's what someone paid for it, which I think is good because it doesn't mislead you to where you bid, oh, this book's worth $1,000. I'm going to bid $1,000, and then it goes for, it's 1,100 because of the premiums. It actually it includes that. So you just kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind. And I always do, just because I don't want to, I don't want to overpay. No one wants to overpay, right?
Yeah.
But I don't ever buy one book off that website. I think one time ever I bought one book off there, and it was a giant size X-Men 1 because it was ridiculously cheap. And it was during like the peak of COVID, and and it just went a lot less than it should have. And I turned that book and got some other books that I wanted, and I do have a giant size now, but usually I buy like the lots, and it's almost like a, I hate to say it, it's almost like gambling. It's like that pack of baseball cards. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes.
Right. Like, there's one coming up, the one this week, Kay Munin, who's in the chat.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away, people.
It's a lot of Lois Lanes. But like you just said, like they only show 3 pictures. They show 3 issues stacked, and then you go look and you look at the list. And they also give you that Overstreet, like, I like that at the end. They're like, this lot, is worth X amount based on Overstreet guide or whatever, what they've listed. But I don't know. It's
Overstreet, what's that?
Like you said, it's almost like opening a pack of cards. Like I know this issue's in there, but I don't know what it's going to look like when I get it because they didn't do a picture. It's kind of a mystery box, but not.
My two biggest luck finds ever in there. I bought a lot of it was Conan and G.I. Joe books, and I paid $26 for it, and it was a long box.
Oh my God!
It said there was water damage, so I'm like, okay, well, if I can save 15 of these books, it's worth it. I went through half of them were Mark Jeweller's inserts. Only about 4 books actually had water damage. It was ridiculous. I was shocked. So that was my first big holy shit, I love this website.
There it is. That's your dragon, right?
Well,
that's you're chasing the dragon now.
My big one. The next big one, and the one that like I keep it's my unicorn that it will never happen again, but I hope it does. I got a New Gods and a Forever People lot, and 8 of the books were signed by Jack Kirby, including New Gods 1 and Forever People 1, and I paid like $60 for it.
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
And it was on the inside cover. Kirby almost never signed the outside. And they're processing so many books. They're not flipping page through page of every single book they do. Yeah. Especially, I know you guys are like, there's a lot of DC fans out there. I'm not a big DC fan. But like New Gods and Forever People are kind of, not only it's off the path, it's not even like big for DC collectors. It's kind of a second tier DC book. So they don't go for a lot when they go. I mean, some great first appearances, some great covers. Man, I was like, holy crap, this is Jack. I went and told my wife, she's like, who's Jack Kirby? I'm like, go away,
I mean, I think it's definitely a niche within DC collectors, Like, I mean, I love Kirby's Fourth World stuff, so that's really cool. Why do you think that happens? Like you said, they don't have time to look through every book. They're moving a lot of volume, but I mean, so is Heritage making these purchases, or I always assumed it was people bringing books to them?
I think it's both. So if you look a lot of times, and there's a bunch this week that say like from the collection of Bob Jones. Like Bob Jones isn't a prominent person that anyone, and that's not his name. I don't know what the guy's name is, but like, this guy sold his collection to Heritage, and they're selling it for him, and they take their cut, whatever their percentage cut is. But like some of these people, I mean, they have I don't know where they store these collections. Like this most recent couple lots that I got from Heritage were a lot of signed books. And they all came from the same dude because it was over like 2 months. I got different lots here and there of signed books, and they were bagged the same way. All of the boards had at the top written, so I knew they all came from the same dude. But like this dude had, these are just the ones I bought. Like he probably had 5,000 signed comic books that went through Heritage, and it's like, man, who has the time to go get that many signatures? And it would be like
a store or something.
Yeah, it would be like a whole run of like the one I got the Punisher Warzone. I got 1 through 6 all signed by Romita. I got 12 copies of one signed by Romita. And those are the comic exposure. They got the cool like 1980s mullet John Romita COA in the back of them. That was fantastic. That was the best treat of that lot was that.
You read my mind or something.
And you know, but they also miss a lot of stuff sometimes. So like they'll say, it's like I bought a.
There he is.
Oh, I'm losing. All right, there's come back. I bought a lot but it said nothing about it, and then I saw it was all signed by him, and I, you know, they're all legit signatures. It was, you know, it's like hitting a jackpot. My lotto tickets.
That's cool.
That's really cool. So yeah, I saw there was a book I almost got, and it's already gone, so it's fine. But I still might hunt it one day, although this is so stupid. And I should have just got it. So like I don't care about like purple labels or even a green label if it's slabbed. I don't care. Like whatever. I want it more for the cover. And I don't know if I care. But it was a purple label, and it was an old Golden Age Flash, All-Star Flash Quarterly or something with the Jay Garrick Flash, and he was wrestling a centaur. And I know, and I almost bought it just because, you know, freaking centaur. So I gave myself a limit. Like I actually watched it that night. I was like, I'll go $150. It's stupid. And it's really stupid, but I'd never seen it before. And I'm like, and I'll never get it for that price because this is purple label. And it went over. It went for like 170 or something, plus the premium and all that. So I was fine with it, but I see these big lots and I just think, oh my God, I mean, 93 books is what I see some of them do.
I know that's what's tempting me is it's that bang for your buck.
I mean, that's like I said, that's why that's kind of the only thing I buy. But when I get a long box, even like I said, I'm not a DC guy. If I get a long box of, you know, adventure comics for less than $150 and there's $100, that's $1.50 a book for 12-cent DC books.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
And that's just kind of, I mean, I still find a lot of like low grade 12-cent DC for the, you know, $4 or $5 range a lot of times. But once they start looking pretty good, you're looking at like $10 a book anymore for those. I feel like they've really gone up over the last couple of years. So yeah, if those are in decent shape, like you definitely can make money on that. So how do you flip? Do you sell on eBay? Do you sell on whatnot? Facebook? What do you do?
What's wrong? I don't even look at books on eBay. I avoid that like the plague. I have, you know, I sold books on eBay 15 years ago. I bought books on eBay. I literally won't buy or sell a single thing on eBay anymore. I feel like people are misleading. Their fees are ridiculous. You know, and they keep getting higher.
Yeah.
You know, they just keep going up. Like, you want 50% of my sale? Okay, cool. I'll sell my book. It's like, it's ridiculous. So usually I sell all my slab books. I always sell through my comic shop. And I really like the way they're set up. I mean, I'll be honest. I get a paycheck from my comic shop every Monday. Like every Monday I get a check in the mail. It could be as little as $80 or it could be as high as $2,000 depending on what I sold that previous week. But I don't only mainly sell slab books there just because they are very, very strict graders. They're as strict graders as I've seen. which makes it a great place to buy comic books because they'll say it's a 4,
Absolutely.
it's actually a 6 or a 7. And I've made a lot of money buying, books that they say are really low, and with a clean and press, they're way higher than what they are. But you can list it and just leave it there and let it sit. You can take offers. They actually cross post on eBay, so your stuff that you're selling to them is actually on eBay anyways. And their fees are better than eBay's. They don't take as much in fees. If I want to get rid of like bulk stuff, like if I got runs of stuff, they're good at that too. Like you can auction. I don't know. Say you got a run of like Action 386 to 395 with a couple gaps. It's like 8 books. I can send that there and throw that up at an auction. They're going to grade it and say it's this grade. You can only sell those through an auction. You can't sell them as a group, but they have every week on their weekly auctions, they usually have groups of books at 8 or 10. And the fees are a lot higher for those. They take like 25% on those, but it's a good way to move like bulk that you just, you're going to make some money on it because most of my bulk stuff I got really cheap. So I don't have anything in it. And then, again, I'm not paying my bills with this stuff. I'm buying comic books, Every dime I make off of any comic book sale ever is to buy another comic book. So I'm not that guy that's trying to make a living off this. I'm trying to get more books. I'm trying to get better books.
You're making the hobby work for you, basically.
Yeah. And that's the thing I do. Go ahead.
You're doing what I see everybody say to do. And that I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And Eric and I think suffer from the same disease. I'm like, well, yeah, I bought this, but I don't want to sell it. Like it's mine. Johnny, you seem able to be like, oh, I can sell these adventure comics because I don't really care for them. And I could do that with a lot of Marvel runs. I think like, oh, if I picked up a bunch of Daredevil, I'd
saying that.
I'd look at it. I'd be happy with it, but I don't need to keep it. I know, shame on me. That's okay.
No,
I just live on the other side of the street, man. But I say that, right? But then I get those Daredevil books, and then my wheels are going to start clicking about, oh, but this came out during this time, and these creators worked on it, and this is history, and you should preserve this and archive it and do what you always do. So then I just end up sitting on it again. Like I have big regrets from books that I sold back in the day that I think prevent me from being able to be a decent like seller today.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I like X-Men books. Obviously, if you watch any of my stuff, I'm an X-Men guy. Like I don't.
Yep.
The only time I'll sell an X-Men book is if I have a better copy. I won't sell any X-Men book unless I have one that's better. I'll never not. If I have a book and it's the only one I have, I will never not have it. I will only possibly get a better copy of it. But like the other stuff, and I don't know what your history in comics are, but like, I started collecting comics when I was 12, 11, something like that. The first comic book I had was 8 or 9, but like I started collecting, at like 12 when I got my first job delivering papers, and I'm like, I got money. I need to spend it on something. What do I want to spend it on? I like comic books, and I'm going to buy comic books. But I've had everything. Like, I've owned a copy of so many different things now that I don't have that attachment that I once had. I do. There are certain books if I got, they would never leave. Like, the one thing I don't talk about, I'm a huge Batman fan too. Because Batman as a kid, he was the one I could be. I couldn't be Wolverine. I couldn't be Colossus. I couldn't be Professor X. I could be Batman. I could be a rich dude with cool stuff. So he was the one I could relate to the most as a kid. And, I was 11, I think, when the Batman movie came out in 89.
Yeah.
And I loved the 66 Batman show. That movie.
I did
with
too.
His shark repellent on his utility belt. It's just fantastic.
We live in the same, like all of us in the same geographical area. And I was 13 when Batman 89 came out. That got me collecting too. So like right around the same time we were buying books. But when that movie came out, Batman 66 was like on 3 different channels, I feel like.
It was in syndication at that time.
Right. Like it popped up a lot, and it just became like there was just this like push in the culture for Batman. Yeah. for Batman that got people into comic shops. And it was like Batman, Spider-Man kind of became the characters that would, be in other books that would get me to then try other titles. Have you been a consistent collector since you were that age?
No.
Or has it gone?
No, I collected pretty much from that age until I was probably 20. I mean, I've always had comics, but like I had a pretty traumatic life experience that I had to reset my life. I had, had a pretty significant loss in my life. And, I moved away. I moved to Indiana, I got away. I kind of sold a bunch of stuff just that.
I think he froze up again.
Yep.
Not have as much baggage.
Can't tell if we're getting all of it or every other word. Right? Like that was a really weird glitch.
Whoop.
The internet.
Hello?
He's coming
There
back.
you go. There you go.
There it is.
I don't know what you missed or what you didn't miss. That was weird.
You had just moved to Indiana.
Yeah, so I moved to Indiana. I kind of had like a 5 or 6 year hiatus, just trying to reset life and get situated. I grew up Southwest Ohio, about 10 minutes away from Rich. Never met him, but about 10 minutes away. And I've ever since then. So I lived in Ohio till I was 30, 31, lived in the same small town my whole life. And then since then I've lived in New York. I lived in Seattle. I'm in Chicago now. Never really went back, but I kind of got back into comics. It kind of was my center, it kind of got me, after, my situation, it kind of helped bring me back to like center. I had a pretty traumatic situation in my life that really, kind of threw me off course for about a year or two. It was one of those things that just you don't really know how to deal with. And, comics kind of helped me get through that a little bit too. Once I kind of reset and it was like, okay, this has always been a constant in my life. When I was a kid, it was there. When I got married the first time, it was there. When I graduated high school, it was there, and I got back into it. And, I've always been into 12-cent books. Like it's always been, I tell people this, all these shows, a lot of them are reviewing new books and talking about new books, man, I can't read the new stuff. I like some of the covers, but all the good covers are the 1 in 100s, the $90 books. They use the shitty covers for the standard books. And then the $100 book for a cool cover. It's like, I'm not getting into that scam. That's just not for me, but I don't like reading it either. I've tried reading a lot of new stuff and everybody's like, oh, it's really good. And it's not really for me. I like the 90s. I love the 90s stuff. I think that was why I really liked Marvel as a kid and more than DC is the continuity was always there. Something happened. It happened forever. Where in DC, Superman could die. And then the next issue, it's like it never happened, he
got better.
Yeah, no. And I think Crisis helped that a lot, but it was just, there was always a constant. It was real places with Marvel. So it's like, oh man, I could go see Hell's Kitchen, New York. I can, Quasar's from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I can go to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
I've been there.
Yeah. Quasar. That's a Quasar reference. You probably don't get too many Quasar references.
There's actually, I've started to appreciate Quasar. My friend Eric, who's in the chat, Himbo, gave me the Buried Alien issues with the crossover with the Flash.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Unofficial. And then I had to get the pregnancy cover. So yeah, I don't know a lot about Quasar, but he seems like my kind of Marvel hero, like third tier, just, weird.
Oh yeah. It's funny. So the company I work for, they're based out of Wisconsin. They're in Neenah, Wisconsin, which is not too far from Fond du Lac. And there's a couple guys that work there that I work with. They're like, "Oh, you don't like Quasar?" I'm like, "No, he's the worst character. Like he's like Wonder Man of the '90s, not like the original Wonder Man. Like he's like '90s Wonder Man. Like no one, Darkhawk. A lot of people love Darkhawk. Like I liked it when it came out in the '90s, but it's like not a good character. Like
no, it is a great design. It is a great design.
I
Especially
don't
for the
disagree. It's a
90s.
great design. It's just not a good character. Yeah, he talks about Quasar though. Like Quasar's that's his Superman. That's his Batman. Is Quasar. I'm like, you're the only person in the world that's like that about Quasar.
Hey,
I think everybody has a character like that though. That kind of
like
popcorn
Nightcat
character that they just enjoy.
Yeah. Nightcat, Dazzler. Yeah, that's a good
Do you
call.
have
on
the
it,
X-Men
too,
130? Do you have that one yet, Nate?
I do. I do.
Okay.
It's not. It's a very rough copy. I bought it when, so it was at the height of like the Taylor Swift. The book was through the roof. Everyone wants $200-$300 for their copy. And this one guy's like, I got one that's in real bad shape. I had spent all my money too at the con. Like I was out of money. And I was like, well, let me see it. And I was like, it's not that bad. And he's like, I'd take $20. I was like, I gotta go get an ATM. And the ATM was out of money. Holy cow, that's nice.
Mine.
Yeah.
That was the one I got signed, Nate, at Heroes by JR.
That's right.
So
that's really cool, man.
Yeah, X-Men are awesome. Love them.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a cornball superhero I like. I have to think about that and get back to it.
I mean, I have a new one. The Martin Man is my new cornball.
The Martin Man,
that
I got
cool.
that because of you, Johnny, and that is just it's a riot.
Did you read it?
I haven't.
Yes, that is a riot.
So good.
I haven't bought mine yet. I've got their site bookmarked because I want to get bootleg Spider-Man and the Martin Man.
Dude, like I said I don't read new stuff. I read all that stuff. It is so good. I mean, it's some of the best parody writing I've ever read. And it's characters that's the thing. The Martin Man, they're very like stereotyping like Canadian people. The two guys are like, oh, look at this hoser, and it's so good. It's so bad, it's good.
And we've said before that modern writing, we think the independent scene for modern is where a lot of the good stuff is now. Because like you said, Johnny, there's a lot of times Marvel's afraid to take the chance to do something to change continuity, and even DC to an effect. It's like they're kind of rehashing stories, or they're maybe doing something they did already a little bit, and maybe the change isn't really a big change. So, and I think that's just the new audience. It's for the new audience, and it's not for the diehard readers, the collectors that have been, getting the stuff for 20, 30 years. So, but the indie stuff is doing new stuff. So,
I really like that Silver Coin. I read that. And that's a fantastic story, but it's so unique, and it's not like anything. It's not a rinse and repeat. It's very creative, unique story, and it was really good.
That's how. I just started reading it, but again, thanks to Dope, Ice Cream Man is also like every issue is different, and every issue has been good. I agree with Eric. I think the indies is where risks are being taken and really good stories are being told. I'm not picking up a lot from Marvel or DC, and what I am picking up, not a lot, is like great. I did really like Absolute Martian Manhunter, but that's like nobody else liked that because it's just too weird for them. But I love weird. I still think Absolute Wonder Woman has been the best like written book, like as far as story goes, making up their own story. And it's been really cool. Like a lot of magic and weird crap going on. And I mean, she's tearing her arm off and turning in, cutting kaiju in half. Like it's wild. But aside, like that's almost them outside their own universe, because they're not willing to do that kind of thing within DC proper. And and then DC is just like they're just doing another crossover or whatever that's coming up. The Dark Side, blah blah blah.
Don't get me started on new X-Men. I'm a diehard X-Men fan like Johnny, and some of this new stuff, I'm like, what the hell?
I stopped when they went to blue and gold and red and orange and purple. Like I can't buy 17 different X-Men books every month. And it was the 90s. It's the 90s all over. X Factor, X-Men, X-Man.
Which is one thing that got me out. I couldn't afford that.
With the writing though, like I don't know if it's partly my age, and like because I remember as a kid, like the Fatal Attractions when Wolverine got spoiler alert, when he got all the adamantium ripped off his bones, like I was like, holy crap, did that just happen? I couldn't wait to find out what happened next.
Yeah.
I was so just like, oh my gosh, this is he dead? What you don't know what happens. They just kind of leave you hanging. And luckily at the time they were, it was like every week a book was coming out, so you had to wait that long. But it was like a week later, it's like, okay, he's okay. And then a couple years later, Origins came out, and it's like you finally get some backstory and some history on it. And it's like, I mean, I love that. I was so just hooked into what was going on. And, even up all the way up to like Hush with Batman, when the first Hush came out, like that was one of the best. That's probably still to this day my favorite story arc I've ever read in any comic book. It was good. It kept you kind of like, you didn't know what was happening. You didn't know who the bad guy was. You didn't know what was going on. And I tried reading the new one. It's like, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just not me. It's not what I enjoy.
I think what it is, it's the cliffhangers aren't there, right? That's what I feel like. There's no cliffhangers. It's just kind of very lukewarm, like through the whole story. I mean, they don't know how to break it up. It seems to hook you, to want you to come back.
I feel like a lot of stories are written to be 6 issues long, but they're not also written to be single issue stories with like you said, with something that makes you want to get to that next issue. And that's where a lot of the indies.
Well, I wonder how much of that too is like the internet and stuff nowadays. Like you kind of know what's happening before the books even come out now. Or as a kid, you had no clue. The cover was all you knew about the comic book. And it's like now there's so much information. You can almost know the whole story before the book even comes out.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm still kind of shocked that month to month storytelling is somewhat viable in this modern age where everything's instantaneous. I mean, we're still waiting an entire month for the next issue of whatever it is we're collecting. But we expect a new TV show to give us 12 episodes in one night.
Yeah.
So we can stay up super late and watch the whole series, right?
Yeah. I mean, we did. We stayed out. We watched Clown in a Cornfield yesterday.
Oh, no. Mary said we watched the preview. She's like, no, I burned the whole field down. Nope.
we had a horror movie marathon, Clown in a Cornfield, and the new Final Destination movie.
Yeah, we're getting to that season, right?
Huh?
We're getting to that season, right?
We just said last night, we were like, you know what? I think it's time for, we'll get a Shudder subscription for 2 months just so that we can watch we did this last year, I feel like. And so we just watch as many trash horror movies as we can
Those
up
are
until Halloween. And good ones, sure. But there's something like really special about one that's, got really good gore or really good effects, but it's just kind of a crappily acted movie otherwise. Like, that's really fun to watch too. That could be really fun. I like a good one.
I get yelled at for some of the stuff I watch sometimes because it's just so bad.
So when we were watching Final Destination Bloodlines, Tony Todd, who was the Candyman, and he's also Worf's brother in Star Trek Next Generation, just for anybody who's into that. But it was his last movie. Like, he passed away of stomach cancer before the movie came out. He looked really rough, but it was good to see him. Like, he's just an actor that I've seen for years who I really like. It was kind of sad to see that.
That movie was trippy too, though. Candyman.
My wife won't watch that movie. She will not watch that movie anymore.
To this day, I won't watch Children of the Corn because I grew up around a lot of corn, and I was terrified that Malachi was hanging out in the field, like,
right.
He
wants you, Malachi.
Across the street, I'm like, nah, I can't do that. That's not for me. It probably doesn't help that I saw it when I was like 9. The first time. It's
we all did.
The ratings didn't matter then.
It's the same reason I won't watch Poltergeist. I was at that certain age where it freaked the hell out of me.
Yeah, see, that don't bother me.
Man. It was like they would put PG on so many things that today would be R without question. Like, our generation got pretty traumatized by horror movies because we were shown way more than we should have.
Yeah, but we also got Cinemax's like Friday After Dark or whatever, so we had
the
that.
Skinemax.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, me and Rich, I'm surrounded by corn on all sides all the time, no matter
Yeah.
where I go. I can't get away. Can't get away from it. So, Johnny, you collect X-Men. You're
Yep.
more of a Marvel guy. I see a lot of like Captain America, Spider-Man. I mean, do you collect other books outside of X-Men, like for your
Yeah, I
PC?
mean that's all Alex Ross stuff. Like I love Alex Ross.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, like so. I mean, the next closest run I probably have that's closest to completion is like Avengers. Like I probably have, I don't know, 90% of the Avengers run. I probably got
Wow.
85% of the Daredevil run. So I mean, I collect keys. I like the key books because I like those first appearances. And I think part of it too is like I'd love to complete the Action Comics run, but it's 1,100 books, and it's and a couple of those books are millions of dollars,
millions of dollars.
So
that's
I know
gonna
I
be.
can't
You're
ever
gonna have to flip a lot of adventure comics to work your way up to that.
So I mean, it's kind of like if I know I can get, like, there's not a Marvel key that I couldn't have. I mean, it would take some work. Like Amazing Fantasy 15 is one that even a really, really, really low copy is expensive, but it's not outside the realm of possibility for me. I could get there, if I took my kids' college money and stuff, but but like the DC stuff, because it's from the 30s and 40s, it's not attainable. So I think that's part of the reason too. That's a turnoff. Plus, I like to read the books that I do buy, like the old books, and I can't read 1,100 Action comic books. I do have a ton of Action, especially the 12-cent stuff. But I kind of like unique stuff that's not as, like, this is one I just picked up. I love this book, and I'm not a DC guy, but this is a great book to me because I watched.
Oh, I love Super Friends. Yeah. Look at the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's a cool book. That's not like, I like that. I'm starting to do a little bit more pre-code just because the covers are so fantastic. But like even it's pricey getting into that world, and some of them are so beat up. They're just like, it's so hard to get good copies of some of those books. But I collect Alex Ross stuff. I really like Alex Ross's stuff. I'm probably not your typical like I don't unsubscribe and hate me for saying this, but I don't like Jack Kirby's art. Like it's the same 100 times over. It's the same thing. The Eternals, the Captain America stuff from the 40s, like the characters all look the same to me. Thor, they all look like the same dude with a different haircut. I think, the thing with Kirby is he has so much because he was so fast and he could pump that stuff out better than anybody. But to say he's a great artist, no, he's a fast artist that could draw a lot better than me, but he's not a great artist. Like John Romita was a great artist.
For me, Kirby's contribution is his speed, because so much of what he did ended up out there, but it was that foundational stuff. Like he set the tone for what Fantastic Four was going to look like, what their machines were going to look like, what Galactus was going to look like. Like still to this day, Kirby's influence is a part of those things. Same with Fourth World characters, Mr. Miracle and Darkseid.
I've always said his
still on those characters.
His layouts, his setups is what kind of got me for him. It's not so much his actual style, but just the way he set up a page to go from panel to panel and stuff like that. That's what always got me for Kirby.
Well, I think he does have great flow. He does have, he is great at creating. It's just the actual style itself.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I'm going to be honest, and I do like Jack Kirby. I understand not liking Jack Kirby. It's not beautiful art in a traditional sense. It's very stylized, but I like the style. But I can totally get somebody not liking it. There's a lot of
I guess it's not that I don't like him. I don't rank him as high as a lot of people would rank him as far as artists. I mean, Dave Cockrum to me is probably the greatest artist of all time. Like Dave Cockrum stuff is just so, and it's probably biased because I'm an X-Men guy. But I mean, his stuff was just, it was awesome to me. But in the same tone, like I think Stan Lee gets a lot of credit for stories but like give him credit for creating the Marvel universe. But like was he a good writer? He was okay. He did a great job creating that world at like a teenage kid age. But the writers that don't get the credit, there's so many for a lot of books. A lot of modern writers that don't get, not modern, but like my generation, 80s, 90s writers that don't get a lot of credit for, for really changing the world of comics. I mean, Claremont, like I think a lot of people respect Chris Claremont, but if you think of like Wolverine, like Claremont didn't create Wolverine, but he did create him. He created the story around that character. He's the one that told you that, he had all these things going on in the background and he didn't have a memory. Like when we first saw him in Hulk 181, he was just, some wild dude in the woods with some claws. But then you have this story that really creates that character. I think that's important.
Yeah, it is important.
Comics, more so than the artwork. The backstory, how they are who they are, why they are who they are.
We got most of it.
Yeah, there was most of it. Real quick, going back to Kirby and Stan Lee, like somebody up here, there it is. Kirby's a storyteller with pictures. Kirby, Stan Lee would give him like ideas, like draw this and then the Hulk's over here, and I don't know, someone's up on a machine going ah, and so he'd say all that, and then Kirby would draw it, and then they'd give it to Stan, and then Stan would write the story. But that was after Kirby had blocked out, like Stan was working with the story, like his notes, and then Kirby made it up. And then Stan would just fill it in afterwards. So like you wouldn't even have a lot of those moments early on without Kirby's art, because Stan wouldn't have had anything to write about. He didn't really, he didn't write scripts. He just filled in word bubbles once they gave him art, which is a crazy way to work.
Yeah.
But I am with you too on like, I think there's a lot of 80s and 90s guys who, there's like these jumps in time where the appreciation of the impact isn't necessarily recognized. And 80s and 90s, especially because 90s had that so much extreme art going on, that like it kind of is that like garbage age of comics that a lot of people look at. But within that, there is still some really good stuff. And things that had an impact on people. And if it didn't, we wouldn't still be collecting, Yeah. I don't know. Faraday cage. Nice.
Yeah, it's not always great in this room. So like sometimes I do have connection issues occasionally.
The dark ages. It really was.
It was. I mean, I think we're all kind of similar in age, and man, it was. Like you go to the store and you were a kid and you had like $10 and it's like, shit, I got to buy 14 comic books to read this story. And I don't have money to buy all 14 of these books. So you're like, which ones are important? Which ones aren't, and it just got, it's repeating.
Superman was so bad during that time.
To do that again.
Yeah.
Are they really? Like what?
Well, I mean, everything. It's that like every series, my dog's going nuts. Every series they have is like a, it's like the One World Under Doom. There's 25 different books.
Yeah,
absolutes.
That's
there's
true.
All these different absolutes. Do I need to read them all to follow the story? I don't know. And
X-Men
foil covers and embossed covers, and it's just like, man, just get back to just putting the book out. Give me good art.
So far, absolute's been pretty like, compartmentalized. Each one's its own title. They haven't like crossed over with each other.
Justice League just did it. Seen. Nate, that's why you quit.
Made a great point. You could but spend $10 now and buy $40 worth of 90s comics.
Yeah,
that's a true story. You could probably buy more than that, depending on what if you're buying like the Eclipse books, you can get a lot
of Dark Hawk.
I mean, Dark Hawk 1 is still That's not a
And
cheapie.
I was gonna say, not the later issues.
No.
It's one of those that like as the print that like 40 to 50 can be kind of pricey, depending on who's got it, because it was a lower print run. Mark,
Unacceptable.
all right, we're gonna start over. Mark just got here.
I'm Johnny.
Johnny, if we haven't even talked about cleaning and pressing at all, how long have you been? Did you start to do your own books, or do you ever do books for other people, or just your own?
Yeah, I do books for other people. I mean, I have a price list if anyone's interested that I can do stuff. I 100% started just for me, and it was more of a COVID thing. It's like I think with everyone, like you remember COVID, it happened a few years ago. It was this weird thing where no one was allowed to talk to anyone else, and you know that nothing was open anywhere.
We ran out of toilet paper.
Yeah, not us. We stockpile that. We still do.
I got to teach through this camera.
Yeah, my wife also got to teach through the camera, and my kindergarten child had to try and learn through the camera. And it's like, how do I keep
mine too?
Kindergarten? And I was at work because my company manufactures. Our customers are like Kraft Heinz and PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, and Kellanova. So we were making food and packing food for them. So we were essential. But at one point, I got to where they were sending us remote, and it was like we worked weird hours. Like you'd have a conference call like 8:30 at night or on a Saturday, because it's like the whole structure of a work schedule just went away. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into this. Government keeps sending me these checks. I don't know what to do with all this extra money they're sending me. So I'm going to make my comic books better. And I started watching videos and reading, and I got the book that Eric just showed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I started on, the easiest books that are Silver Age to get cheap, unfortunately, are DC books. So I started with DC books. Because I wanted to press my Silver Age books, and picked it up really quick. It's not as complicated as people think. It's a patience thing. You have to be patient, but I think as long as you can manage that patience, it's not hard to do, especially basic cleaning. Clean and press. It's really hard to mess that up unless you cook a book or you forget. Even if you forget, I mean, I've left books in there and forgot to turn the heat off for an hour. It still doesn't hurt the book. It doesn't. And just like these are here on my desk, these cotton swabs, just what one of these will do to a comic book is insane. It's insane how much dirt will come off that book.
Wow.
But then I got to where it was like, it was becoming very profitable because I could take a book that was a 3.0 and make it a 5.0 or a 6.0 and then sell it and then buy another book and then, and continually just roll that money into itself. But it's so therapeutic. You just kind of sit down and you zone out. You're just hyper focused on what you're doing. And I always have struggled with patience, surprisingly enough. And my mind's it's constantly running. Like I'm always thinking about the next problem or how I'm going to deal with this or how I'm going to deal with that. And it helps me kind of shut that down and settle it out. So it's very, therapeutic for me. You got to hear this dog. I mean, I got to zone that thing out every now and then.
So you've talked about this twice, and I feel like the comic book hobby itself can be very therapeutic because it's all about like organizing and ordering things. Like you get the books and you're going to put them in the bags and boards, and you're going to put them into a box, and they're going to be in the order, and maybe you're going to put them in your spreadsheet or your app or however it is that you track them. There's a lot of like little mini accomplishments along the way of collecting that I find, like you just said, therapeutic and relaxing. Like I sit in front of the TV and I will organize a short box of books and get them ready to, put into my PC or giveaway pile, or why the hell did I buy this pile? Where do you like to work in a room by yourself with music, or do you like to like multitask? How is it that you do it?
Yeah, so I kind of have two main spots that I do it. I do it in here a lot. And then I have our bedroom is like an addition to our house, and it's I mean, it's ridiculously large for a bedroom. It's like 500 square feet. So like I have an office in our bedroom. So I'll sometimes work at my desk. I have a desk in there with my gaming stuff and next to the bed. And sometimes I'll work in there. But like what I like to do is put headset on, and I'll have a series of something. Like I've probably listened to The Expanse 10 times cleaning comic books.
Nice.
I've seen it. I love the show, but it's great just to listen to that and kind of zone out. I've done it with Battlestar Galactica, series, TV shows, is really good. And it's funny because I'll grab a book that I cleaned and I'll remember a part of that show or that movie that I watched. It's like, oh yeah, I watched, Band of Brothers while I cleaned this book. And it was, when this happened. And I like that where it kind of pulls that, because it's the same as when I was a kid. Like I'll pick up a book that I bought for the first time at 12, and I remember the smell of that comic shop. And it's nice to have that, but it's also like I have that recall from the shows I listen to. But usually I have something. I'm not a music guy. The music I listen to wouldn't be conducive to cleaning comic books, because I'm like, people will hate me for this, but I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan. To me, the greatest band of all time is the Beastie Boys. And some people think that.
Hell yeah. Paul's Boutique, Hello Nasty. Those are incredible albums.
Yeah. So, it's funny because my wife's favorite singer is actually married to one of the Beastie Boys. And she also is a huge Bikini Kill is the name of the band. It's like very obscure. So it's like kind of crazy. We met each other and our favorite singers are married to each other.
That is wild.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't usually listen to that, and I love 80s music. I'm that, let me hear the Safety Dance, I love all that shit, but I don't usually listen to music. I also listen to like sports talk because I'm a huge, it doesn't show. I'm a huge sports fan. I can watch any competition between any two people. It doesn't matter if it's table tennis or if it's a guessing game if there's a competition between two people, I am down.
The guess which hand championship.
Yeah, I mean, I even thought about that. I should do like a YouTube stream where I show just a little corner of a comic book and say, guess what comic this is? Just the corner of the cover, because I love competition. I think it's good for
Colossus
people.
Collector has that, like, I don't know how he did it, but he had something where he would show a cover like a little square at a time. You remember that, Eric?
Yeah. And I can't remember where he got that from, because there's somebody else that does that too.
Right. I don't remember either, but yeah,
and they gamified it.
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, I got to answer Himbo's question. It depends on which Avengers is playing and which X-Men are in the game. I mean, if it's Colossus and Wolverine, I mean, no one's beating the fastball special, right?
Yeah.
But what Avengers? Are we talking like original Avengers with the Wasp? Or are we talking like later Avengers where it's like Spider-Man's one of them? Because those teams are very expansive. There was like
very true.
It could be West Coast Avengers even.
Yeah, well, they don't count. Come on, Eric.
West Coast Avengers. That's the Bush League team, man.
Yeah.
No one's. They ain't moving Wonder Man up to the pros. Real quick, somebody asked, "Have you read the Expanse books?" I wanted to.
I have not.
Too.
So my ability to read, just because I have two young kids and a crazy dog, I'm gonna go strangle that thing here in a minute. He's this big.
He sounds that big.
Yeah. So,
but he sounds like he thinks he's much bigger.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I most of my reading is done through audiobooks in the car. I have not read the Expanse books, but I'll be honest, I didn't know they had books, so I will probably have to go Audible.
I have not. Yeah, I've not finished the series, but I know I've read the first 3. And I keep telling myself I got to get into audiobooks, but I can't train my brain to stick with it. I always drift off and start thinking of other stuff. I do have to say big thank you to Matt here. Thank you, Matt. Johnny is an awesome guest. God, I love that dance.
You have to use a clip from like the second or third worst comic book movie ever made.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I've been trying to find even like that's what I love. Don't be surprised if Shaquille O'Neal's Steel shows up in a thank you clip.
I think that was better than Spider-Man 3, though. For being honest,
I would argue I would absolutely be on board for that. I had a blast watching Steel. It's freaking horrible, but I think it kind of knows it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, I just don't know what happened.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And then Bikini Kill. That's the one I was trying to click on there. Bikini Kill is great.
My 8-year-old sings along with it on Alexa. Like my wife will play this song, and my little 8-year-old's running around like Rebel Girl, Rebel Girl. It's funny.
Yeah. I love how like, because I'm not a like popular music guy, so my kid goes to school and he just has no idea what's like, and I don't know either. I don't know what songs are popular, but I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, no one else. I promise, no one else's parents know anything about this band or whatever it is that I'm listening to right now. So I'm sorry, that's what you go to school singing. Saying, does anyone know?
I think it's bad. I don't even know. I don't even know like a Taylor Swift song. And my older daughter loves Taylor Swift. Like I literally can't name a single. I don't know. If I heard it, I might be like, oh, I think this is probably.
Get my wife running in here. Quiet.
Yeah. I only know one.
Well, you know, it's funny. We were at Christmas this past Christmas. We were at my wife's family's house, and we're sitting at a table. And she got a bunch of cousins that are like in their mid-20s, late 20s, and they're sitting there like the husbands and the wives. You know, they're all talking, and to me, they're kids. I like all the kids are at the table, and I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
And I hear this one guy. He goes, "So what era are you?" I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" And he's like, and they're talking. And he's like, "I'm this era," and I'm like, "What are you guys talking about?" And he's like, "Well, it's a Taylor Swift thing." I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" You ask each other what era you are, and it's like what album they like, or something. I'm like, "Why don't you say what album do you like?" That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's just like
that's how she's. What is
our society doing to these kids? What era are you? Holy shit!
What era are you? Okay, that'll be the new FOMO Squad shirt. What era?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm dated, but it's like even the two guys were having this conversation made it even worse for me. It's like, what? And maybe that's not okay for me to say that or think that. It just seemed odd to me. I always thought that was. I don't assume that that's only for girls, but if you look at a concert, it's a bunch of girls at those concerts for the most part.
Okay, look, you know, some of these people in chat, they have an era, and
they know. I don't know what
for you guys. Well, okay, I only know. You said you don't know any. The only Taylor Swift song I know is "Shake It Off."
Well, I do know that song. I didn't know that was her. I do know that song though.
That song's a banger. It's fine.
You know, my guilty pleasure though is probably Miley Cyrus. I do like her. I don't know why. I just like her songs. But guilty pleasure.
Her cover of Jolene. Dolly Parton songs, one of the best things I've ever heard, like hands down. It's flipping amazing.
Yeah, I mean she's got some pipes on her, man. That girl can sing. She's weird, she's crazy, but man, can she sing?
Cliff, straight men are okay too. We are. I love you, Cliff. Johnny, this is a comic book show, and you've shown one comic book. Did you bring any books to show us today? Did you have anything you wanted to show off?
Pull some stuff out.
You don't have to. I always forget to let people show books if they brought them because we get to talking about everything.
He's going to show books.
I didn't bring any because they're always just right here. So,
all right. Well, let's do it. Let's see a few.
I've shown this before, but I love this book. It's my pride and joy from my cleaning, and it's this one here. And I know I've showed it lots of times. But I just absolutely love this book, and how much better it looks. I wish I was like Matt and could take really good before and after pictures, and I just suck at that. But this is a book that I will probably never ever leave my collection. Now, I'm not a Superman guy, but it's that reminder of look what you can do with a comic book that's bad. Cool. I always say this was a 2.5 when I bought it, and now it's a 6, and it's just And for you, it's the beginning of Lois Lane solo stories. This book right here.
Yeah,
The key.
I know. It's
I
a
would
key.
show. I used to have a Lois Lane one, but I don't have it anymore. But it was a cool book. I would show it, but I don't have it.
It was a cool book.
Um,
Yeah, maybe somebody could show that later.
So I always like to show this one too because this is my favorite book in my collection.
Yeah,
It's just because all the signatures on it. I love this
that's
book.
awesome.
That's
You know,
awesome.
I hate that everyone always says, "Oh, it's a Frank Miller cover." This is not a Frank Miller cover. Frank Miller did a very crappy outline sketch of Wolverine, and then Joe Rubenstein made it fantastic. Like Rubenstein doesn't get the credit for this cover that he deserves. Frank Miller is probably one of the most overrated artists. He's a great storyteller. His art is, I mean, it's better than mine, but it's not great. But like Rubenstein, a lot
where
of
you
stuff.
rate him next to Kirby?
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I mean Kirby's still much better.
Nice. I'm there
Especially
too.
the new stuff. Like he's mailing it in lately, man. Some of these books, it's like, oh, it's the special 1 in 50 Frank Miller cover.
I do think
like,
Frank Miller had like a little.
that's
Frank Miller had an
horrible.
era.
Yeah.
Of the Sin City stuff was really groundbreaking, but then it just kept like simplifying worse and worse and worse. Oh, we lost him again. Faraday cage. He'll be back in just a second.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now I can hear you. See,
Oh,
I told
Johnny.
you. Once it was 1 second.
I kind of caught bits and pieces. You were cutting that out.
I just think that Frank Miller, like, I liked when he got real experimental with Sin City and Dark Knight, and then that style just
Frank Miller's Ronin was good too.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Those were really it was really interesting artistically, but then like when
you think about it though, his most famous cover ever is a silhouette of Batman.
Right.
That's like
right.
That's his most. I could draw that cover. That's his most famous cover. And that I think it sold for like $3 million at auction at Heritage. So,
wow, I can definitely see that.
This is a recent pickup that I really love.
Dope would like that.
So not only is it a cool, incredible Hawk, I don't know if you can see it.
Write it down, Cliff. Write it down.
It's a double cover.
Nice.
Oh wow.
So it is Todd McFarlane's art starts in this book, and there are actually quite a few of these that have a double cover. I don't know if this run had a premiere, but I sent this in. I got a 9.6 and a 9.4 the first time. I cracked it, repressed it again because they were wrong, and I proved them wrong because they gave me a 9.8. But double covers are cool, and they're just not that common to find. And this one was, like I said, this one's cool because it's kind of a key. It's McFarlane starting on the Hawk. But they always give the grade to the higher of the two covers. So if the outside, and usually the inside cover is better than the outside because the outside is seeing the elements in the hands and all that. So I like that book. I think that's a cool book.
I think that's kind of cool that they'll round up with a double cover.
Well, they just go to the higher of the two. So, I mean, you could have an outside cover that's a 3.0 and an inside that's an 8.5, and it's an 8.5. That's what they give
That's wild.
And I got one other one that I love because it's just so unique. If I can find it. Because I didn't bring anything. Because I said, hey, Nate, should I bring anything? You're like, no, you don't need to bring anything. And then I get on, you're like, what you bring?
I said you can if you want. That's why I asked if you brought anything.
So it's
I
a
love
twofer.
this comment. Miller's current stuff. It's like those paintings of cats by the schizophrenic artist that got more and more abstract over time. I just saw today the cover that he's doing for Wolverine Batman versus Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, in his defense, he is not a young guy. He's definitely dealing with some kind of like muscular issues because he's starting to kind of hunch over really bad. I mean, I'm sure it's hard to criticize what he's doing now because his age and his health. But he was never a great artist.
But good on these companies because they're not traditionally known for helping artists out who are in a bad place. Like they don't get health insurance.
Family about that.
So exactly. So like I do kind of like that they're like, yeah, his drawings are what they are, but we're gonna let him do variant covers so that he can have money to do what to keep on living.
Yeah.
And then everyone's talking about that Frazetta painting that just went on Heritage for $13.5 million.
He's got an art
Good
book.
night.
Frazetta's got an art book up on Kickstarter right now too. That
I'll take the poster.
Eric, didn't you get a Frazetta art book just recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got what was it? I think it was a horror book that he had come out.
Yeah, and there's a sci-fi one
We're
coming
gonna do a
too.
sci-fi and maybe a fantasy one too.
So the last one I want to show is a twofer.
Oh yeah.
I know, Eric. I'm sorry. So this is obviously a turning point in X-Men history. The first new team. You know, this is where Claremont helped on this book. He didn't actually write it, but he helped. You know, it's great Cochran art. But this transitioned into 94, which Claremont took over. And I mean, he had the Dark Phoenix and Dazzler, and he created Gambit. And I mean, all these characters that are awesome and synonymous with the X-Men. But this isn't my favorite giant size X-Men. This one is.
Patrulla awesome. X.
I love this book. I love foreign comic books. I just think they're just neat.
Cool.
They are.
You know, I think they're like, I would love to have a whole run of Patrulla X, but like it's impossible. You know, the best one is the Mexican Los Hombres X. Like, I love that. I just think it's cool.
Yes.
It just sounds cool. Los Hombres X. You know,
yeah, that sounds awesome.
But you can't find them they're not very, and obviously when you do find them, they're ridiculous because when you do find them, it's X-Men 1. You know, it's not like X-Men 164. It's like the big banger keys, and people want 10 times what they're worth because it's so rare. And but I love foreign books. I've been picking up more and more. And when I see them in any type, like Marvel mainly, but any foreign books I really like. I've really gotten into a lot of the like UK had like Spider-Man Weekly and all these different comics weekly. They're like newsprint magazine style books, and it's a lot of the cool like Ditko and early Romita art for Spider-Man on the covers, and they're just neat. You know, Captain Britain's the same way. I like the original UK Captain Britain books.
I wanted to ask, and Doug here kind of mentions that sometimes the foreign covers are like very similar, with different color palettes, or you can tell it was drawn by somebody completely different, but they aped the original cover as much as they could. What's the comparison on Patrulla X? Is it the exact same cover just with a different trade dress?
Yeah, it's the exact same. I mean, you can see them side by side.
Okay.
I mean, the art's the same. Yeah, the trade's just different. I mean, this is also like it's like cardstock. They're also different thicknesses. Like this one's thinner than this. This is actually giant. This one's average. So
average size X-Men.
Yeah, but you can kind of see on the end the different sizes of the two. I mean, it's an old slab on the actual giant size, but it's a thicker book too.
Question from Jason. What's the best reaction you got from a customer? Have you ever damaged a book? And how did that go with the customer?
So I don't do a lot of customer stuff. Like I said, I don't do it as a business. Usually if someone reaches out and is like, hey, you know, would you be willing to press? I'll usually do it for them. You know, again, I'm not pressing them. I'm not giving you my time for free. You know, I do have a list, but you know, I mean, I would say I've never had someone not be like, oh, wow, thanks, this looks so much better. You know, I've never damaged someone else's books. I've damaged my own. I've never damaged someone else's. You know, it's funny because I've pressed quite a few books for Bry at Bry's Comic Shop. And he has no reaction no matter what it is. It's the funniest thing. He'll always send me a picture and like, hey, I got this back. It's a 9.8. It's like, dude, it was an 8.5 when you sent it to me. Aren't you excited?
Right.
You know, or like I did an X-Men 101 for him that I thought was a 9.4. And he got it back and it was an 8.0. And he sent me a picture and it had a tear on the bottom. And I said, it didn't have a tear when it left here. He's like, yeah, it's fine. No problem. It's good. I'm happy with it. It's just like, I mean, he has no And I think it's because he's moving so many books and he's going through so much that he does it. Like it's not, $50 here or there isn't a big deal. But it's just fun. I've never seen anybody have less reaction to a comic book that's either great or not great. And I mean, some of the books that I've done for him, like it went from, a $500 book to like a $2,000 book, no reaction. You just see your picture. I got the grades. Here they are. That's like, wow. I did some books for JSS. I think he was happy with what I did. He gave me the worst comic book I've ever pressed, that damn dog food crypto.
Yes.
Book. The pages were cardstock. I've never seen a book that had cardstock pages. And it was only like an 8-page book. But man, that book was hard to press. But I think he was happy with it.
I think he was too. He sent me pictures of it. He jumped on that so quick when the movie came out, and he was right to, because that book is it still insanely priced? I saw some insane ones. I don't know what it's going for right now. I'm getting a link to Johnny.
The worst mishap I ever had, it was on one of my books. So my wife's a teacher. She teaches special education, and she makes sure back. Am I back?
Yep, there you
now
go.
You're back.
Am I kind of back?
You're back.
All right. So my wife's a special education teacher, and she makes shirts for school a lot. Like she's in I think it's called STEP. It's like now it's like high school kids, and they're prepping for life after school. They're autistic kids, so they're 18 to 21. So she makes shirts, and she used my press to make a shirt, which is like 350 degrees to press a shirt, but it's like 150 degrees to press a comic. And she didn't tell me that she had used my press. And I use the same temperature all the time. And I set it up, hear it beeping, don't look, walk away, come back. X-Men. It's this book right here. Oh, that's the book. And this book is, you can't tell, it is crispy. Like it is crispy. I'm afraid to open the page because I'm afraid the cover will snap. Like it's that dried out.
Wow. Is there any way to rehydrate it?
I mean, I've tried. I left it in I have a hydration tank, and I left it in that tank for like a week, and it felt good. And then once it came back, it was cracked. It was like dried out again. I'm like, you know what? It's not a huge book. I mean, it's a huge book to me because it's one of my favorite like early X-Men covers. But it was probably only like a 4 or 5 to start with, so it's not a huge loss. But yeah, it was probably one of my biggest oh damn moments. Oh, and then I tore a Superman 56. I tore a cover erasing it one time. That was pretty.
Oh,
I put my hands up. I'm like, what I just do?
like Superman 1949 issue 56.
Yeah, and it was like I tore it from like here to here on the spine. Like it ripped the bottom staple, and it was early. It was one of my first Golden Age books, and I wasn't as focused probably as I should have been, and I was thinking I should erase a little harder than I needed to, and yeah, I've never done that since. I wish I would have done it on like a Superman 456 instead of
right. Yeah.
I mean, again, it's still that book is probably like a $300 or $400 book. It's not like it. Not that that's nothing, but it's not like a $3,000 or $4,000 book. That would be a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but it's still like a book like that. Like a Golden Age book, even a Silver Age book, to me, it's like there are a finite number of them, you know, that are out there, and of that number, there's an even smaller number that could be like improved and preserved. There's plenty of issues that I have in my personal collection that are definitely readers, and even if you clean them up, they're still just, they're too beat up to be like desirable copies. So. Yeah, I get it. Like a modern book, I just don't worry about as much. Like if I see it get torn up, somebody for my shorts, I just put them in a rack. Like they're not bagged or boarded on Wednesdays, you know, because I haven't read them yet. So I just throw them in there. And people are like, oh, why don't you put those in a bag or board? I'm like, because I don't really care.
Well, that's why I love when I see Dope throwing his around.
Dope bends the cover all the way around to like show what's going on. And I got people who like, and I don't go that far. I mean, I do take care of my books, but yeah, I don't worry about it unless it's something that I know like I should definitely be taking care of.
Yeah, I like working on books like this. Like if you look at the spine on this, the spine's like perfect. There's no real spine ticks, but you can see it's like it's yellowed, it's tanned.
Yeah.
Like especially around the back cover. Like hopping will get rid of a lot of that. And it's a solid book. You know, it's held together well. Where, you know, some books it doesn't matter how much you clean and press it, it is what it is. Like this book will be more than what it is right now. You know, and the same with this one. These are two on my stack here.
That's a cool cover too.
That book will, I mean, look at the gloss and the shine on it. Like it's a really good
I was gonna
book.
say both of those have really nice gloss and really good color too for Marvel of that era.
Just got the tanning on the edge there, and then you see like the dust shadow on the bottom. Like I can get rid of this dust shadow on the bottom and along.
So how do you get rid of that?
It's a trade secret. I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
Just hopping it will help. It won't go away. It will reduce it. It will look a lot better.
And hopping is the hydrogen.
Yeah. Hydrogen peroxide. It's 3%. It's not acid. It's 3% hydrogen peroxide. Same thing you put on your cut knee.
Okay.
Or you did when you were a kid and you like screamed bloody murder because it bubbled and burned.
You guys are wizards. Like
no.
I see you guys spray, you know.
Yeah.
Jason is a wizard. God. What he does is magic. Like, I mean, that's like the rabbit out of the hat, this stuff. And just taking a staple out. You know how hard it is to take a staple out and put it back in the same
yes,
hole?
I do.
And these guys are like completely disassembling a book that's 75 years old, dunking it in a tank of water. It's like, no, that ain't me.
Insane. It's insane.
I spray this on a piece of paper and it dries out almost completely. And I lay it on top of a book. Like I'm not really introducing that much into the book. These guys are like giving their books a bath.
Right. Submerging them. That's
like rocket science to me.
I'd be hyperventilating right away.
It's science. It's wild. It's wild to watch. I really do. Like Comic Spa did a video of like the whole process of doing a book once, and that was really cool. And then Jason's videos are like crazy ASMR nerd science experiments.
Well, you know what's funny too is they're completely different techniques to save a comic book, and they're used on completely different comic books. Like what Jason does wouldn't apply to any of the books I'm working on, and what I do really wouldn't apply to any of the books he's working on. So it's two different ways to save a book that are in two different levels of deterioration. Like his are almost gone, and he's bringing them back from the dead. Mine are alive. I'm just giving them a facelift, you know?
Yeah. I need to, that's the doctor we all need to go see soon as we age into the age of our comics anymore. So that's the mistake. I have the little cotton rounds, you know, I watched some videos too, and I got an eraser. And it's the lightly rubbing the affected area in one direction. That's what I didn't like get from the video. And I wrinkled like one of the very first books I tried to do because I was trying to go back and forth with an eraser, like, you know, like I'm trying to erase a mistake.
Take it on your hand. You should barely feel it when you do it. I mean, it's not like erasing your name in pencil. It's not that type of erasing. It's just a soft.
Right.
I mean, you're just letting that little tackiness grab the dirt. You're not erasing. Now, if there's a pencil mark and you can, great. But you should go over that pencil mark 100 times, not 4, like you would erasing your name on a piece of paper.
This is what I need. I need the Johnny's Comic Stuff course of cleaning success. I don't know what you want to call it.
12-step program.
Cliff wants to know if he's right. Is he right on this comment? to use a soft gum art eraser or vinyl eraser and
So
lightly
I
rub
don't.
the epithet.
There are people that use the soft gum erasers. I don't like those. Just because I don't like that style. But they do work. These are, these are like a Stadler pencil capper.
Yeah.
White. It's always got to be white. You don't want to use like a pink one. I don't know why that is. Pink leaves a little pink residue and white doesn't. But I mean, they both actually would do the same thing. But even if I use the wrong end, I still have a white end. I thought about getting a bunch of pencils made with my name on it, Johnny's Comic Stuff, and just giving them out at conventions.
You
Use
should.
this one.
Yeah, you should. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but there's so many different tools and there's so many different techniques. Like there are even people that do stuff that I think is completely wrong. It's not wrong if it works for them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people use that that pink absorbing putty. To me, it's very dangerous on older books. But if you have the right technique and it works for you, it works for you. I don't use a tack iron. I guarantee Matt uses a tack iron and a ball. I never use a tack iron or a ball. I don't like the results I get from them, but I guarantee Matt gets great results from them.
Matt,
I do not consider
like
what
you
I
said,
do as restoration.
Matt's little reels and posts on Instagram showing I love the before and after pictures. Like I just think the whole and I think he said that earlier too, like watching, cleaning, and pressing videos can be kind of addictive. Like you just kind of get into a loop of them. Well, like when I'm up here organizing comics, I just will turn on comic book YouTube and let it go.
Yeah.
But those are ones that come up and I realize it's been an hour and a half and I've watched several of these videos go through. Do you consider what you do as restoration?
I don't, because I'm not introducing anything new into the comic. I think when you look at like, and it's not a knock on what like Jason does, but like he's acidifying the paper and changing the chemical makeup to preserve it. He's adding things to it that weren't there when they do like the leaf casting.
Right.
Hydrogen peroxide, when it dries, it evaporates. So even I could soak a book in hydrogen peroxide, and then when it dries, it's evaporated. It's no longer in the book. Plus, peroxide is used in paper making. But the only thing I'm really introducing to the book is water, and paper's already made out of water. I'm not changing or altering anything chemically with the book when it's all said and done. I mean, I do think I think it's more preserving the book than restoring it, because to me, restoring is putting something there that's not there. Putting a piece back on, putting color back into it. And I think that there's always been kind of a conversation around it. Back in the early 2000s, if you sent a pressed comic book to CGC, you could sometimes get a purple label and it would say, "This book has been pressed." It's like, but why is that? I'm just removing a wrinkle. Like I'm not altering, I'm not hurting the book. And they try to change their stance in the later, like 2008, 2009. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with either. Because I think when people do conservation, they are trying to get it back to the way it was. I don't like when people do things that are misleading, mischievous, trimming a book. They're not trimming a book to make it look better. They're trimming it to make you think that it's better than it is. Right. I don't try and make you think. I make it as good as it can be. I clean it and make it. I pull out all the crap that's been added to it over the last 50 years. I'm not changing anything about it though. I'm just, bringing it back.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that, and I think that's where, like, restoration gets that like it's a dirty word, but for me, it's got to cross that line, like you said, Johnny, where they're doing something to the book to make it appear in better condition or more valuable than it is, when it stops being about like making that book as good as it can be, and it's more about making as much money as I can off of this thing that's not legitimate.
Well, that's why I don't like purple labels. It's not because there is never a purple label that was done correctly. Because if it was done correctly, it would get the little gray conserved label. And anytime there's a purple label, someone's trying to hide something. Period. They're using a marker to color in a black line on the book, or they're, you know, if you are not trying to hide it, you're going to do what a conservationist does. You're going to do it the right way. You're going to do it the way that's, I mean, a Sharpie on a comic book is not good for a comic book. That, you know, that inks in that is not the same. It's going to break down the paper over time. It's going to actually deteriorate the book more over time. Where when a conservationist does it, they're adding, you know, if they're adding ink and color back, they're using the original inks and styles that was made, you know. And so for me, a purple label is always, it's disappointing because it's someone trying to hide something. But I have bought a lot of purple label books that say small amount of color touch, and you just scrape that off and no more purple label.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, have you ever? So you've gotten purple labels and undone the restoration and been able to then get a blue label on it.
Yeah, one of the most common things you'll see is like on a book like this, that black line, they'll take, if it's got cracks in it, they'll take a pen or something and cover it in. And you can always see it when you look on the inside. Like most of that stuff just bleeds through to the inside cover.
Right.
And then the black light technique, you can see it a lot of times with black light. I just don't like it there. You know, the thing that bothers me more than anything, though, is a trim book. Like if you trimmed a book, shame on you. You should have your comic books taken away from you and not be allowed to collect anymore. Because that's just, it's just shameful. You know, it's like.
I agree. I just, and I have gotten books before, and I'll look at them and I wonder if they're trimmed, like, because you can tell, like, it, you know, the trade dress is too high, but sometimes that's just an issue of how the covers got cut.
Shitty way of that they made it.
Yeah, so sometimes it's hard to tell, but like, with you know, with books like, you know, especially Silver Age and Golden Age, where you kind of know the dimensions, what it should be, whether or not it's centered or not. That's where it just is like, it sucks.
Well, a lot of times with a lot of, but even like, you know, CGC, CBCS, sometimes they even have a hard time detecting it if they just barely trim off an edge, because there's no definitive, this is the way to tell. Like there's so many different ways to tell, like how they talk about how the outside of the pages should all point out because the staple pushes them out a little farther, but it could have a miswrap. There's so many, and you can't just lay it flat and measure it and they weren't that consistent, especially back in the 60s. A lot of times what they do when they detect it is they'll take a microscope or a real high magnify and look on the edge, and you can see the little jagged wave, which would not be on a printing press because the printing press does a chop.
Right.
But yeah, I think we
got to get our microscopes out. I was told there would be no science.
Yeah. Well, CGC does that. I don't do that. Yeah, the Marvel chipping caused a lot of those books to get just messed up. All of it, not just AF-15, basically any book that came out from 62 to like 64 from Marvel. I mean, that chipping was like, replace the knife, guys. Replace the knife.
A lot of brittle covers from that.
Yeah, AF-15 is notoriously the worst, though. Like, I don't know why that book specifically, but there's so many bad copies of that. But you know, they take a stance on the grade with that too. They don't knock that as hard because that was a manufacturing defect.
Right. Okay. And I do like that when when there's a known issue with the process, it's like we just account for that. We're not knocking off.
I don't know if you've ever noticed, but on Hawk 181, right underneath the corner box, it has that little, some of them have the streak of like bad ink and some of them don't. They don't ever knock that bad ink where it's like rubbed. It's got like a little rub and same thing. Half of them have it, half of them don't.
Yeah. It is, we've been going for an hour and a half, boys. And this has been an absolute blast.
I'm a man.
But there are things we got to do. What's up, Eric?
Johnny said he's a man. He's not a boy.
He is a man. Okay. Well, I still feel like a 10-year-old kid sometimes, just
Yeah.
piloting this older, fatter body with
Yeah.
bad ankles. It's like I'm in the worst mech suit ever. Why won't this go? I do. Before we go though, I did grab this, and I want to show this because you used to have this, Johnny, but now I have this.
I did used to have that.
Johnny was so kind to gift me this coverless Lois Lane with a reproduction cover that is glorious. It was so much fun to read this. This really was like, this was one of the highlights of my year, man. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. This is just like,
It's a great repro cover too. Whoever reproduced it, they did a great job on it.
It's so good. They did the inside too.
Yeah,
like the inside of the. It's not just the outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my book this year to hunt down at Heroes, and I couldn't find a single copy.
That cover's been trimmed, Nate. I apologize for
that. It's okay.
It's not going to get a purple though. It's going to get a green if you grade it. That would be an NG.
Yeah, that was that. Like I made a short from that just because that was like it was so unexpected. That was so cool. Do you have anything coming up soon, Johnny? Anything in the pipes?
I haven't been putting much content out because, like I said, a lot going on, but I have been actively working on my X-Men video. I've talked about it a few times. I'm going to go through every single issue from 1 to 544. It's broken. I've got it all written out and scripted out. It's into 6 parts. The first part's 1 through issue 66, which is the first original run before they go into the reprints until we get to 94 in the new team. So the first, it's a lot. It's a lot more than I thought it would be when I started working on it. But I'm actively still working on that. I'm hoping to get back to cleaning next weekend. I'm cleaning every day. I'm just not streaming cleaning every day. There is always a book in that press. There's always a book in the table, no matter where I'm at. It's just been hard lately with a lot of stuff going on. We talked a little bit before the show. It's just been kind of crazy the last couple of weeks. So hopefully next Sunday we'll get that. But this X-Men video, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be, it's going to be pretty awesome for an X-Men fan. If you're not an X-Men fan, you might think it's stupid, but I'm literally going through every issue. We're going to talk about every single key highlight, everything about it. So
maybe it's enough to bring Nate over.
Well, it doesn't even have to bring me over. Like I always say this, I love to watch something where someone's talking about something that they are into, and it doesn't even have to be comic books, just whatever it is. So like if you're presenting X-Men, I know that's your jam, and I want to hear your POV of it. It's the same with Eric or Uncanny Derek. I love watching you guys geek out about the stuff you like, so that's really exciting. And Johnny, you recently broke how many subs? Because you did your giveaway, right?
3,000. Yeah, Adam won. Yeah, he just got it. He got back from Maine and he texted me that he got it. So, it's a little bit misleading. I have one video for some reason that had like 40,000 views in India. I got a lot of subscriptions from that, but I don't know why it got so hot in India for like a month.
That's weird.
I didn't do. I was like, did you advertise? I mean, no, I don't know if there was some analytic in somewhere in that video that said, you know what, if you live in India, you're going to love this video. I mean, it was nuts because every video prior to that, I'm like, I'm 300, 400. And then I post it. And like the second day, I just check it, see how it's doing. It's like 1,200. And then the next day, it's like 4,000. I'm like, am I going viral? What's happening right now? This isn't even one of my better videos. I didn't even know. But from that one video, I got like 1,200 subscribers. I'm sure none of those guys watch any of my content. But that one video, man, they got a statue to me in India somewhere next to a cow.
I'm picturing Indian villages where like all their phone notifications go off and they gather at the town square. It's the new Johnny Comic Stuff video. Everyone, come on. It's happening.
It was weird, man. Like it was odd. I mean,
were you getting any like comments or something from them? Anybody
No.
leave anything?
No, you just know you look at the analytics and it's like Kalabala hair. Where's that at? And it's like India. Like 300 people watch me in this little town in India, and I don't know why, man. That one. So, you know, there I have a couple guys that like literally comment on everything I do, which is cool. It's like I have like a fanboy club. You know, there's one guy, David Renfro. He won one of my subscriptions. It doesn't matter what I put out, that guy will comment on it. I can put out a
That's
10-second
awesome.
short and he comments on it. Andy commented on the video when it was live, and then he'll comment on his comment on the video when it's live. Like, I saw your short. I mean, it's fantastic. And he's living like Scotland. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool
love
to
that.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all have, you know, commenters, and a lot of the people in the chat here today are people that I see like leave a comment on almost every video. And I think it's a unique niche that we found. Like it's not like gaming. It's not like any of the other, you know, YouTube communities. This really is like, it's small, but there's just so many of us that really have like made real friendships here and things.
Well, I do want to
Eric,
say,
do you have anything going on this
cut
week?
it out though, you are probably one of the best at like running a show of all of, in my opinion, of all of the comic book content people. Like how you run and manage the Tuesday night show, and how you kind of keep it going, and you know, you speak off the cuff very cleanly. And I'm sure part of that's being a teacher. You know, you're used to speaking in front of people, but I mean, I'm not saying that just to like kiss your ass. I mean, I think you're really good at this, and I really enjoy watching your stuff. And it's always fun. You know, that's what I like about it. It's never not fun.
Nate knows how to herd sheep.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my job for 20 years. I mean, I manage these little people. There's 25 to 30 little people that I keep alive and on task as much as I can. So like a Tuesday night with four guys talking about comic books and some White Claws, that's easy. That's easy compared to what I do every day.
You don't even have to keep those people alive. That's not even part of the job. So
yeah, like they got to keep themselves alive. But thank you. I really do appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Eric, what do you got? What do you got coming up this week, buddy?
New video dropping tomorrow. I am coming up on an anniversary date, so I'm trying to get some stuff lined up, try some new things with the channel. Other than that, kind of same old. Tuesday nights with you guys on FOMO Squad, and so yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've got Tuesday night, Hagen's back. Everybody be there. The boys are back in town. So the four of us are gonna show some books, and
we may actually have a naked dope even.
Who knows? Like, who knows? He better keep his pants on.
I mean, I'm naked from the waist down right now, but you guys don't know that.
I always say I'm Donald Ducking it. You have no idea. I don't know that I'm gonna have like an edited video within the next week or two. I've actually got a project that somebody has asked me to work on, and I'm putting my priority on that right now. But other than that, the Tuesday and Sunday streams, for sure. So everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. There were a lot of people. Johnny, we linked his Instagram, we linked his YouTube. If you want something cleaned and pressed, like he said, he's got a list. Reach out to him on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to him. He is a very fun videos that you put out. A lot of good videos, and I do appreciate you coming on to hang out with us again. And you'll do it in the future, because we are a lot of fun.
Yeah, anytime, man.
All right, man. I love that. Eric, thanks for being here again, buddy. And everybody in the chat, have a great rest of your Sunday, and we will see you back here next week, if not before. Have a good day, everybody.